Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Lone Wolf 902. Today's video is it's interesting. It's been an interesting day, I should say, because I've been hiking with this pack all day. Two purposes of this video. One is to find a new location I've never been to with an epic view. And oh my, I have found the epic location that I've been looking for all day. Part two, or the second reason for this video, is what I brought with me. Okay, so this pack right here is my Tactical Innovations 48-hour pack. It is loaded. Everything in here that I need to do a hot tent overnighter, right down to minus 25 degrees Celsius, is inside of this bag. So I've got my stove, I've got my tent, I've got my sleeping pad, I've got my down top quilt, I've got my cooking gear. What else do I got? I got my gloves, I got my food, I got a lake right in front of me, so I've got a huge water source, so there's no water in my pack. I have titanium pot, 750 mil, and a cup, 450 mil. My knife on my hip, my saw. I'm just gonna go ahead and get everything out of the pack, lay it down, and show you guys exactly what I brought with me, talk about each item, or name each item, and then I'm gonna get my tent set up because it is pushing about 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now. The sun is directly behind me. It's gonna set over that lake, and if these clouds hold off, it is going to be absolutely epic. So I'm gonna open the door towards the lake, have it here, have the stove. The area has so much firewood, and I could talk all day. I just got to get started. I want to get the bag, dump everything out, and show you guys what I got, and then get the tent set up. All right, so bring you guys in a little closer. So we've already covered my Boreal 21 saw from Agua Canyon. Excellent saw. I've got that. I've got my custom-made knife from Peter LePay on my hip that I brought with me. Now let's get right into the pack. Everything else I brought is inside of the pack. So check this out. Undo these side clips. So right off the bat, right at the very top, kind of jammed in there, I've got my titanium 450 mil cup and my titanium 750 mil pot. Both of those nest inside of each other. I do have the lids, but I put them down in the bottom so they didn't rattle and bang and clang the whole hike in here, because this is a hiking trip. It is not about a big extravagant camp, it's about hiking. So I had a lot of fun. I didn't film any of it because I was frantically looking for an excellent location and I just wanted to get there. It took a lot longer than I thought, and I'm glad I didn't stop, because if I stopped, it'd be like 5 o'clock by now. So, second item I have is my climate insulated static V. This is an R value, claiming R value of 4.4. I'm going to mention this in a future video coming up. That number is BS, and I'm going to explain why. So, that's my sleeping pad. I have my tin of coffee. I'll pop that over there. I have my one Tigress down top quilt. So this compresses even smaller, but I've got it down compressed small enough to where it'll actually expand to fill the bag. So that's my down top quilt. Now I have my DIY waxed canvas bedroll. So this is going to be my ground sheet. I love using this. It's waterproof. It's homemade for one. It's waterproof and puncture resistant, majorly puncture resistant for popping your pads when you lay on sticks and whatnot. So here are the two lids I was talking about, 750, 450 lids. Down here, start on the side first, here's the center pole for my tent. My tent of choice is the One Tigress Smoky Hut. One Tigress Smoky Hut, and this compresses down. I mean, that's the sleeping pad. That's the whole tent, 750 mil pot. This compresses down smaller. I only got 2 hands. So very, very small, very lightweight. So that's the tent. Now here I did actually bring a thermometer this time because I've had a lot of people ask me the temperature inside the tent. In the hydration sleeve, and I've mentioned this in many videos, that's where I choose to keep my wood stove. So here's the damper manifold piece. Make some room for this. Damper manifold piece. Down beside the actual stove, I have the whole chimney pipe This is a 7-foot pipe, 2 meter, or just over 6 feet, I believe, 2 meter pipe. And then I had the actual spark arrestor with the rings on there to guide out. And then I have my titanium stove. This is my Timberwolf Signature Edition titanium stove from Pomali. Excellent choice, very, very slim design, packs in there really nicely, and goes excellent, absolutely excellent with the One Tiger Smoky Hut. So that's my stove set up. I then have my stove jack that I just slid in next to that. That's it for the main body. I got a couple packets of tea that I keep down in my zip compartment area. In this little helmet kind of storage area, I've got my leather gloves, always useful when running a hot tent. Start on this pouch here. I've got my food items. So I've got a pack of ramen that I brought with me. Can't go wrong with that. I've got a pesto pasta dish that I brought with me. I've got a new knife that came from Holtzman Survival Gorilla, or Holtzman Gorilla Survival, I should say. Nathan sent me this. You guys may recognize the name from a previous video I did. I used to always wear it on my left hip, and I still do. I use that knife a lot. But tonight, where I'm going to be using the hot tent, I wanted to bring one knife and one saw, and then one multitasking knife. So I didn't want to have two wearable knives. So this is a neat little survival knife in a Kydex sheath. Very, very sharp. And the fire steel on the side. That's my only method of lighting fire for this trip, right there. That's it for that pocket. Move on to this pocket. I've got more tea bags. Can't go wrong with that. Titanium spoon, titanium fork for eating. Tent pegs, because I didn't feel like making any, because I knew I'd be hiking far today. Another tea bag. I got a lot of tea in here. That's it for that. That's it for that. Nothing in there. Guy lines. So I've got some guy lines for my tent and my my spark arrestor. That's it. That's it. That's it. I don't think I put anything in the back pocket. All right, so that is the entire pack unloaded. That's everything that I've got with me. All right, that is everything. Plus, I do have a battery bank and a charge cable, which is actually on the camera right now, charging up the camera. So I have my S9 Plus that I'm recording with, my external microphone, my tripod, my battery bank, and my cable, my charge cable. So that's what I've got for filming today. So everything here is what I brought with me in this 48-hour bug-out tactical style pack. That's outstanding. Now, I could have gone a lot lighter. My goal wasn't really to go light. My goal was to go comfortable and have some things that I really like having. So the number one item I could have cut back on would have been my canvas bedroll, my wax canvas here. I could have just brought a regular ground sheet, put it down, whatever, but I didn't know where I was going to be sleeping. This is pretty lucky to find a nice duff area. I don't even need it, but I'm going to use it. And then what else could I have cheaped out on? I could have cheaped out on pegs. I could have made my own pegs, as I usually do, out of sticks. I didn't have to bring the lids to the pots, but they are nice to have. There's a few things I didn't have to bring, but I wanted to. So that should show you guys right there what I've got. It is possible to throw it all inside of a small pack and hike. Now, I don't have the actual weight of my whole loadout here. I didn't think to weigh the pack. I do know for a fact the weight's not on this. You have to check. I'll put the total weight down in the description of the video if I remember. But the big items that I can tell you, the stove is 2.2 kilograms, 4.2 pounds. The Smoky Hut, I believe, is 1.3 pounds or 1.6. Like I said, I'll put the weight down in the description when I figure it out. But this is everything that I need to minus 20, minus 25 degrees Celsius, no problem. This stove absolutely rocks heat. Even the Pomali T1 Mini, very, very similar size. A stove of this size, even a 50 caliber ammo can, will get a Smoky Hut ridiculously hot, like uncomfortably hot if you really need it to. So it's all practice on how you burn, what damper settings you have if you're open all the way and whatnot, softwood, hardwood, all that stuff. So this will get me down to minus 20, minus 25 degrees Celsius, rocking that stove really hot. So this down top quilt is really nice to have as well. I don't really like sleeping bags when I'm working with a stove because if I got to reach out, I don't like unzipping. It's just nice to just flop the top quilt off, reach over, bam. So that's enough for talking right now. I do have to get my tent set up. If you guys have any questions on this, obviously drop it down in the comment section and I'll be sure to get back to you. But right now, my mission, get this area prepped, get my tent set up, get everything inside, and then start enjoying some of this awesome scenery. We are starting to get a little bit of clouds and the wind is kicking up, so maybe we'll get rain, who knows. Might get a sunset, might get rain. Either way, it's gonna be fun. Let's get the tent set up. All right, guys, I got everything out of the pack, everything into the tent, and everything set up, basically. I got my stove positioned facing this way. This is how I usually sleep in this tent. I like my head towards the door so I can unzip it, close it. I can kind of look out, get the view. But I am on a hill, so I am kind of leaning this way or sloping that way. So later on tonight, if I do notice that a problem, because I take my sweater off and I use that as a pillow, so that'll bring my head back up. So I don't think it'll be a major issue, but if it is, I could put my gloves on and just give the stove a turn and have it facing towards the back. And then I could sleep going this way on flat ground if I choose to do that. Usually I leave that area for my food processing area, wood processing area, whatever I'm doing. I can put my boots back there and all that stuff. Because as you can see behind me, I put my backpack over here, my food, my top quilt. I'll get that out of the stuff sack later on. But I keep all my gear behind me, and that helps block a lot of the draft. Now, I did already take care of the draft on this side of the tent. I have to do that side. Basically what I'm going to do, because this tent does not have snow skirts, I'm going to, later on once the doors are kind of shut and this wind stops blowing because the sides are flapping up and down, basically just pile up all these pine needles. So I'm basically going to pile it all up on the sides where that cold air is coming in. This side was really big, that side's really big because the tent is kind of on a hill. So there is that gap underneath just on the front of the tent, and that's where the wind's coming in off the lake. So I don't think it'll be terribly cold. I do have my thermometer up top. It's supposed to go to 0 degrees, but I don't know. The weather is kind of all over the place lately, not really reliable. So I'm going to be doing my cooking in the tent. I'm not going to have an outdoor fire, and that's the reason why I brought my 750 pot and my 450 cup, so I can do my tea, my drinks in my cup, and then I can do my noodles and pasta and whatnot in here. I also found a pack of oatmeal, which is my breakfast, down in the bottom of my pack. So I've got tea and coffee. I don't have a coffee filter because I forgot it at home. I could make a regular filter that I do a lot out of birch bark. I make a cone, put spruce needles down in there, pour your coffee through, filters it out. But I think what I'm going to do is just basic cowboy coffee. I'm just going to fill it up really full of water, get my coffee in there, let it sit to the bottom, and then gently pour so all the grounds stay on the bottom. That's a method that I like to use often. So basically, I'm doing pretty good for time. The sun is still high in the sky. I kind of want a snack, but I'm not sure because I am out of here tomorrow. I'm only doing one night, so that's the reason why I only brought a little bit of food. I don't find I eat a lot when I'm out hiking. When I go to a stationary camp and I stay in one area, that's when I find I eat a lot. I think I just get bored sitting around and I just start cooking and eating. So not a lot of food on this trip, but I am going to get the stove burning briefly just to get it hot to make a cup of tea, and I might snack on something, I don't know yet, but that means I need firewood. So grab the saw and let's go get some firewood. All right, guys, I got the stove burning, got some firewood in there. All the firewood that I've got, I should mention, this is all really dry maple. It's really dense. All the wood here is hardwood, with the exception of small little twigs that are softwood. I peel the bark off this maple like I usually do. You guys see me do that on the channel probably quite often. After a rainfall and after this stuff has been dead for a while, the bark just peels off really easy, even easier with a knife. And I find if you get that wet layer off there, it doesn't foul the pipe, it doesn't clog up the damper, it doesn't make the glass dirty. Burn this nice clean dry hardwood with that bark off there, and it's a huge game changer. So what I'm going to do right now is, I'm thirsty. I don't have any water with me, remember that, so I have to go get water from the lake. I got to boil it on the stove, and I've only got the 2 containers. So later on tonight, I'm going to fill both of these, bring them inside of the tent. That way, if I do need a drink or whatever, I'll have it here. For now, I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do some lemon herbal tea. So I'll get that ready in that cup. I'll put these 2 aside for later on, or maybe in the morning. So I'll do that. Let this burn. This is going really hot right now. Checking the thermometer up at the very top of the tent. It is 11.4 degrees Celsius right now at the top. So I'm gonna go get water, come back, get that on the stove, and then we're gonna check the temperature when this is boiling to see how much hot air is actually trapped at the top of this tent with these doors wide open and that cool breeze coming in, because I can feel the heat on my arm and my leg, and it is roasting already. So let's go get some water. Whew, let's go get some water and get that tea on, and then start on maybe some noodles or something. All right, so I got the water on the stove. That's gonna come to a boil, and then I'll be good for food and a drink. Let's check the temp. Woo! Guess how hot it is up top of that tent right now. Before I got water, it was only about 5 minutes in that process, getting water, filming and whatnot. Doors wide open. I think I said it was 11.4 or 10.4. Guess. You ready? 29.2 degrees Celsius. That's hot. I'm burning in here already. I am burning in here. 29.6 degrees now. On the rise. Holding at 29.6. It's even warm to touch, that thermometer. 29.9 degrees. So I never bring a thermometer, pretty much never bring a thermometer with me. I could tell you A, it's hot, or B, it's cold. I don't need a thermometer to tell me what's what. But this is kind of interesting to see, holding at 29.9 degrees Celsius. interesting to see those numbers, to share it with you guys, because I know there's a lot of viewers that are new to hot tenting or thinking about going hot tenting, and I get asked a lot, do these stoves keep these tents hot? This little stove will heat a huge 6-person teepee as well as a small 1 or 2 person. So yes, they get very hot. They can put out heat depending on the wood source, like I was saying, where you've got your damper and front vent open and all that stuff. But yes, they do get very, very hot. Check again, 30.9. 30.9 degrees Celsius. That's hot. So this should be boiling hopefully in no time. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this because I am very hungry. Probably do my ramen and I save my pesto for supper. Even though it is basically supper time right now. Yeah, that's hot. That's throwing some heat. So I'm going to get my tea. I'm probably going to go down to the lake or find an area to kind of sit and watch the water for a little bit. I think I will get a little bit of a sunset, nothing major. It is quite hazy and cloudy out there. It even might rain, I'm not totally sure. But I'm gonna let this do its thing, bring up the temperature, get it boiled, get it in a cup, enjoy some tea down with a view on the lake. Alright guys, I decided to go with the pesto and not the noodles. Well, I guess they're both noodles, they're both pasta, but no Mr. Noodles, and we're gonna go with the pesto pasta. I am getting quite exhausted after hiking around all day today looking for a spot, and finally settled on this one, and then hiking around here a little bit, getting firewood and all the different stuff that, you know, camp chores, getting cleaned up and all that stuff. I think I'm going to sleep like a rock tonight. I am looking forward still for a sunset, so hopefully the sun gets down there. I'm gonna get some color in the sky. It is very, very hot in here still. That's kind of why I'm laying down now, to get out of the heat. I can see up top it says 32 degrees Celsius right now up top. So yeah, it's pretty warm. It went down to 9 degrees Celsius outside, so it's starting to cool off a little bit, and it is almost getting to sunset hour. So I want to eat now and tidy up the area, because I do like a really clean camp. I like everything tidy and put away. So I'm gonna eat and then get my my area tidy and basically get ready for sunset, because I'm hoping I can sit down there either on that rock again or down by the water and watch some of the colors in the sky if we get any. So that's the plan right now. I'm just gonna cook this and eat supper and then go check out the sunset and listen to hopefully some loons out on the lake later on tonight. That'd be really cool. All right, guys, sunset is here. The clouds did part and the sun is starting to go down. So we got a nice blue sky, but off in the distance, we do still have a couple of clouds that hopefully will turn fiery pink and purple. They're already in the purple stage, so I'm hoping once the sun gets below them, the whole rim of those clouds light up really nicely. This lake is starting to go completely still, which is really awesome. There's a whole bunch of fish out there surfacing. I can see rising fish all over the place. This is definitely a nice spot, definitely. So I'm gonna enjoy the sunset for probably the next 20-30 minutes until it's completely dark out. I'm gonna make my way back up to the tent, get some more wood in that stove, get it rocking, get it lit up, get it nice and warm. Probably have a little bit of a snack, because tomorrow, like I said, I got my oatmeal for my breakfast, my tea or coffee. And then it's basically going to be hit the trail and head home. So I'm hoping this sunset really, really makes this spot worth finding today, because I traveled a long way. All right, guys, sunset is done with now. That was pretty awesome. The sky kind of lit up like there was two different sunsets. One half was like that just baby pink. The other half was dark, dark purple. And then they kind of melded together. So right now it's just orange sunlight, the last little bit of light. There's a bunch of mist and fog starting to roll across the lake already. So that's kind of cool. I'm sitting right here, got a front row seat at it. I see it just reaching out across the lake. So I think tomorrow morning that whole lake's going to be fog. That'll be pretty cool to get up and look at. So I've got the stove going right now. It is getting quite warm in here. Do a temperature check for you guys. 23.4 degrees right now. Outside, it's 6 degrees Celsius. The door's still wide open, so it's going to get really hot in here, which is going to be cool. It's going to get cold and it's going to get hot at the same time. So cold outdoors, hot inside. So I'm going to enjoy my stack of firewood inside of the tent tonight, and might carve something. I don't know. I do have my little carving knife with me, and I got a bunch of hardwood, so I might tinker around and carve something out of wood. I might just relax, and not, like I said, I am tired. Oh, I didn't mention the total distance today of hiking in here. I parked my truck on an old fire road, and then I had to hike in. It was about 4 kilometers hike, but that 4 kilometers wasn't just a straight A to B because I had no idea where I was going. So 4 kilometers hiking. I got to do 4K back out tomorrow, and I've also got to be home at a decent time tomorrow because I do have plans with family. So I'm going to be moving tomorrow, moving fast. I'm not going to be poking around exploring like I did today. I'm just going to straight out. And I got this spot marked on my GPS, so I will be coming back here for sure. But I think that's the plan for this evening, is I'm just going to kick back and relax. I can feel the cool air starting to set in. The moon's up in the sky now. I can see that. So I'm gonna get this door shut, and I might leave this one open for a while. Might zip it down to here. Got some kind of bird up there talking. Anyways, I'm gonna say goodnight to you guys for this evening. Like I said, I'm gonna zip the door shut, maybe keep this little triangle open just to vent some air out. And I've had a really great time so far, and I thank you guys for sticking around. So tomorrow morning, hopefully we'll have a nice sunrise, fog on the lake, some hot coffee, some oatmeal. I'll catch you guys in the morning time. Peace out. Good morning, everybody. So today is a nice, sunny, very chilly morning. I woke up and the tent had a slight frost down near the floor. I checked the temperature, I grabbed the probe and I put it outside, slid it underneath the door. It was -2 degrees Celsius. I brought it back inside, I lit the stove, put it back up top. Within 15 minutes, it was up to 29 degrees Celsius. So, very warm. I can feel the heat rushing out of the tent right on my backside right now. It's actually pretty nice. So I've got my apple cinnamon oatmeal. I did, however, find some caramel white hot chocolate. Get this, jammed in the very bottom of my down under quilt, right down near the foot box area. I crawled in last night and I felt something at the end. I thought it was garbage, so I reached down, grabbed it, and there it was. So I think I was trying to tell myself on my next trip to have a good morning, and I'm having a good morning. I'm really happy that was in there. So I do have tea and coffee over behind the stove, but caramel white hot chocolate, I mean, come on, right? Super good, super good. So I'm doing my morning routine right now. The lake is starting to get a little choppy. There was some nice mist and fog rolling in late last night, and you can see it from the tent door. I kind of peeked out this morning, and I can see it just kind of rolling across the lake. And yeah, I had a really great night, really good night in there. I had some snacks, my ramen noodles. Watched a movie on my phone, chilled out, watched the fire in the stove. I ended up leaving my sleeping orientation the way it was. I just put my head up at that end and my feet down towards the door. So I was still able to feed the fire all night. And I gotta tell you, it was a good night. Owls in the background, hooting across the lake. Heard something splashing in the water, I wasn't too sure. And then I heard something crackling over in the bushes, pretty big. I'm pretty sure it was a deer, because I did see a game trail over this way. So might have been a deer, who knows. I was cozy and comfortable. So I'm gonna enjoy my morning oatmeal, and I'll catch up with you guys as soon as I'm done. All right, I'm all finished with breakfast. Kind of pushing some of this stuff out of the way. It is time to start packing up very slowly because I got the wood stove full of wood right now, so. All right, guys, breakfast was really good. I'm all finished, and it's time to start packing up. So I'm gonna start with my sleeping pad first because I got this nice flat area in here to work with. And then I'll move on to my down top quilt, get that packed in there. And everything outside of the tent, my coffee, spoon, gloves, all that stuff out of the tent. And then get the stove out quickly with my leather gloves. I'll let it burn down quite a bit, but I don't think I'm gonna wait till it completely burns down. So I do have a lot of trail to make up, and I do have plans today at home. So that is the plan for me. I should mention, if you guys can see, go back to last night when I had, in the video, to when I had all of the firewood there. I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 round logs left. So that's what I burned all night long, and I stayed warm. The stove did go out. I did roll over and light it again, like I was saying earlier. But it stayed really warm in here when it was going. And you'll also notice that I do have rocks underneath of the stove. That is something I do when I'm on really dry pine duff, all these needles and stuff that's gonna catch fire. If you ever have a stove that's low to the ground, it's a good idea to put rocks under there. You can bring some kind of fire blanket or metal reflective sheet, but honestly, just use rocks. They're everywhere. Rocks under there. There's no need to complicate hot tenting because it's really not that complicated. And when you start overthinking things, that's when you start running into trouble. So I do slip a few rocks under there. Now I can tell you from experience that leaving nothing under there, 90% of the time you're okay. It honestly doesn't do anything because there's not a whole lot of heat that goes down through the bottom. It radiates off the sides of the stoves, and that's where you kind of run into issues if you've got a lot of dry stuff and the ground's kind of uneven, is those sides are elevated. So it is a good idea to put the rocks there. I do it for 2 reasons. 1, protect the ground. 2, it radiates so much heat. Even when the fire dies down, those rocks radiate heat in this tiny little tent. So great idea. I do have 2 more pieces of wood back here. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds, because that's split in half. So 10 round logs, and that's it for firewood. So that's what I used all night, stayed warm. Really, really good experience. So I'm gonna pack this up, like I said, go through all my indoor stuff, and then I'm gonna get the stove outdoors, cool it down, take everything down, jam it in the pack, and I'm basically gonna be hitting the trail. All right, guys, here we are, all packed up, right where we started off this adventure. Full backpack, saw in my hand, and a beautiful lakefront view. So that was my view out the front door of the tent. It was pretty awesome. I'm definitely coming back here. So the point of this video was not only to get out and explore a new spot and have some fun, was the pack. All right, so like I said, I am going to throw up an estimated weight because I don't actually have a scale at home. I may run out and go grab one real quick and weigh this and drop the weight down in the description. But if I don't get around to doing that by the time the video is uploaded, I'll put basically the number you'll see will be the estimated weight off of individual items. So I can get the weight of the saw, I can get the weight of the pack, the weight of the bag, and all that jazz. And I'll throw the weight up, but I want to say it's probably 15 to 20 pounds. That's about it. So I'll get closer numbers on that for you guys. But I had an excellent time here. Carrying this pack, doing a full hot tent setup was extremely easy to hike. I got to go in more areas that I would look with a huge backpack on. I'd look and I go, there's probably nothing over there. And then I wouldn't go. With this pack, nope, I'm going. So I went in a lot of spots, and that's how I found this awesome area. Really, really happy with this. So as you can see, the only thing that's left are these rocks, which are actually still very, very warm to the touch. Not hot, but warm. I mean, I could pick them up. Very warm. Oh, I'll put one inside. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's nice and warm. So this is my tent pad, if you will. This is right where I slept. It is on a bit of a hill. So right here is that little dip that I was saying. I put my head up that way, my feet down this way. The stove is right there. Front door right here. I highly, highly recommend to you guys and girls, if you've got the means to put together a kit like this, a small stove, a lightweight tent, a simple pad, a top quilt. Now I will mention with that setup, I did quote the temperatures yesterday of I believe minus 20, minus 25. This will do it. But I have to keep the stove going all night, okay? Because that little top quilt, it lets in a lot of draft, and you will not get cold, but you will get a chill to make it uncomfortable. So if you are planning on running this setup in minus 20, minus 25, I would bump that top quilt up to maybe a full zip sleeping bag if that's what you're into, or a winter top quilt, which is what I'll be doing this winter. So excellent pack, excellent setup. I'm really happy with the lightweight, very, very 30 liters. I mean, I believe it's 30 liters. I'm going to have to put that in the video now that I said it. This is a 48-hour pack from Tactical Innovations. I'll put down the link for that as well. But I had a really great time. Really great time. And I'm definitely, absolutely coming back here again. So I've got to get going because I'm already 27 minutes past my deportation time. I've got plans at home. I got kids waiting for me. So I'm not going to be filming any of the hike out of here. Two reasons. One, I don't like to show too many of my secret spots on camera of how I got there because I don't want locals finding it and ruining the spots like they usually do with their garbage and trash and whatnot. And number two, I've got to get going. I can't film, I've got to go. So I'm just gonna beeline it right out to the main logging road, get onto that track, head down to my truck, jump in, head home, edit the video, get it out to you guys. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it as always. And check out my Instagram for more photos on these adventures because I'm posting more videos and more behind the scenes stuff that are not making it into the videos. So have a look at that if you're interested, and I've got to get going. So peace out, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next video.